Hello and good evening everybody. How are we doing? We're good? Fantastic. So today is the 5th of January 2013, 5 days into the new year. How are we all feeling? We're good? I'm sure we are. Anyway, so as you well know, last week when I did my Haunted review, the third chapter of that story arc, obviously I did mention that they're bringing in a side story as such, titled Effigy. Now we've actually found out a bit more about it, and how it works is Smallville digital chapters will now be released every week. Okay, so there's going to be a new chapter every single week. You're still going to get the printed issues after the 3 original chapters are done, but on the week that the printed issue comes out is when we're going to get chapters of Effigy. Okay, now Effigy features more Batman and Martian Manhunter. So this particular chapter that I'm about to do a review of takes place, it tells you at the beginning, takes place 5 minutes before the events of Haunted. Okay, so reading this, as I say, it is solid. This was pretty good, really good. If you check my review for Haunted last week, I've actually put a link to Brian Miller's blog where he does explain how the next chapters are going to be released and everything. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, let's kick it off, shall we? So Effigy, here we go. As I say, features Martian Manhunter and Batman. Okay, Bruce Wayne and John Johns. Fantastic, absolutely loved it, and some awesome references. There's a construction site going on on the moon. I'm guessing this is where they're probably building or constructing the Watchtower. Who knows? But Superman and Martian Manhunter are both on the moon assisting the construction, and then that's when Superman then goes off to help out with obviously with the Simon issue between when he started causing havoc in Metropolis. So anyway, so John Johns goes back to his apartment because he obviously is a detective, remember, and it's good that it's good to see that he's still back as a police detective. So many interesting hints of what I think is to come. And as I say, as you go further into the story, it just gets more and more intense and emotional, especially for John in particular. He has memories, obviously, of his family as well, so he has that emotional side of it. And then some sort of reaction occurs to him. He hears someone say his name, and then we find out later on what has transpired from that. Batman and Nightwing are doing their thing as usual over in Gotham. So and what I loved about it was, as I was reading this, we get a glimpse of the mutants. Now if you've read Batman The Dark Knight Returns, that's where this has come from. So I was I literally geeked out at that point when that occurred. So that was pretty good. It's great, and again the dialogue between Barbara and Bruce, absolutely brilliant. Then unfortunately for Barbara, she gets into a sticky situation with, well, I can only describe it as something very evil looking. Don't want to give too much away because honestly you've got to see this. But then when Bruce is investigating what happened with Barbara, well, that's when our favourite Martian shows up at the end of the chapter. But it's but yeah, very interesting. So it does tell you at the end of the chapter anyway, it does say part 2 of Effigy will continue on February 1st. Join us next week as we resume with Haunted. So there you have it. That's pretty much how the process is going to go. So I think this is good. I honestly do think that this is going to work out for Smallville in terms of the digital chapters and also the comics. The interest is obviously taken off in such a spectacular way from when it first came out last year. It has really taken off, and everybody who's read the comics, I mean, people who never read comics before have all said that Smallville was what's introduced them to comics, and that's great. It's good for DC, it's good for comics, and it's good for people who watch the show when it was on for 10 years. They obviously wanted to see how it was going to continue, and this is a good way for it to be done. And having the side story now is obviously going to pique a lot of people's interest. It's going to keep that, the interest going. It's going to keep people's anticipation, excitement, all that sort of stuff. They're going to keep reading. They're going to keep enjoying what Brian Miller and everybody involved have got on offer. Kat Stagg's still doing an awesome job on the cover work as well, in particular. So yeah, it's amazing that I'm actually quite pleased that rather than having every 3 weeks and then waiting for the print edition, then chapter after that week of no digital chapters, if you know what I mean. Now that we're going to get a new chapter every week, well, like I say, it's just going to be even more spectacular. So honestly, I will admit, I'm actually quite disappointed that we have to wait a month for the next chapter of Effigy, because I was like, I want to read chapter 2 of this right now, because like I say, it is solid. It is really, really solid. It is brilliant. Having that side story there and learning a bit more, hopefully learning more about Martian Manhunter. So I think now this is where we're going to delve into the territory of learning a bit more about John Johns and who he is, and why he's suddenly, having why he's alone, why he's here on Earth, all that sort of stuff. I know it was briefly mentioned when the show was on the CW, and he, did say to Clark that he's come to Earth to learn a bit more about humans and how they all behave, all that sort of stuff. So, but this I think will be more, it's looking at it from another angle kind of thing. So it will be very, very good to see how it all plays out. But again, excellent work from everybody involved. Brian Miller, thank you very much. But again, thank you all for watching, and I shall see you all next week. Bye.